What's good, my peoples? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy, Big Chris 145, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to give you people another review of WWE Raw. The day is October 21st, 2013, and pretty good show tonight. Like really good. Couple mishaps here and there, but it was really good. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing that they start talking about on the show is Triple H and Stephanie come out and they stand in the ring, and before they can talk, this crowd starts booing them, and then Triple H and Stephanie kiss each other, and the crowd starts booing even more. And then she says, "You know what? You're just jealous." So Stephanie starts going in and talking about all the matches on the card and stuff like that, and then Triple H starts going in and talking about the main event match, which is Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton, and he starts talking about Shawn Michaels and stuff. And the Big Show appears on the Titantron, and then Big Show starts talking shit to Triple H, and saying how how you gonna respect Shawn Michaels when you don't even respect the people that is employed under you and stuff. And Stephanie's trying to figure out how he's on the screen, like running around yelling, "How's he on the screen?" and shit. So Triple H starts yelling back and shit, and then Stephanie ends up getting in the ring, and I guess finds a way to cut him off, and starts counting to 5, and then cuts him off. And then they cut a promo at the end saying, Big Show's over, his career is over, and you should never see him again. So opening segment was pretty cool. I like the whole thing of Big Show coming on a Titantron and stuff like that. I think they need to figure out more ways to explain the stuff for the reasons why he's on that Titantron and why he's able to get into the arena and stuff like that. Just give us a little bit of explanation saying, he may have somebody in the workings, of the company, and the Triple H should try to find out who in the hell is working with the Big Show. So, probably figure out a couple of things to get, these small little details fixed. Triple H says that the next match is Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose, and he says, "Here is Dean Ambrose," and Daniel Bryan's music start playing, and Daniel Bryan runs around the ring doing a yes chant, and Triple H and Stephanie just look at him angrily. So that was a pretty little funny thing. It felt like a little botch at the beginning, but you could tell it was planned, so it was a funny little part at the beginning of that. And then we get the first match is Dean Ambrose versus Daniel Bryan. I don't know why I had to look at that again. Dean Ambrose versus Daniel Bryan. And this is a really nice match here. It got a good amount of time. It was some very nice spots here. Very equal, not one person doing too many things. It was a very good for like submissions and stuff like that. Dean Ambrose had a lot of good submissions in this match, and so did Daniel Bryan. The match ends with Dean Ambrose trying to go for a roll up and it getting turned into a yes lock and put on Dean Ambrose by Daniel Bryan, and Dean Ambrose ends up tapping out. So yeah, that was a pretty good segment right there. Pretty good match right there. And I like the way that they still set up Dean Ambrose to look strong here, but not strong enough to beat the champion, or not even strong enough to last for long in the yes lock. So let's see. Next was a CM Punk promo. CM Punk, basically just hyped up his Hell in a Cell match even more. He didn't really say anything too important here. You can tell he's kind of, running out of steam with things to say in his match. He's a great talker, nonetheless, but, he has to worry about wrestling more than talking. So, he's not able to sit down and write as much as, somebody else who would give a fuck more about the match like Paul Heyman would. Paul Heyman has time to, come up with different ideas, and he's more of an idea-based guy, so that's his job. CM Punk is more into showing a good match and stuff like that. So it was an okay promo here. Next we had Triple H was backstage talking to Vicky, and Stephanie was in there on the phone just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And then he tells her to go and do something about some surprise or something like that. And then Shawn Michaels comes into the room, and he just acts all goofy and shit. And, he was kind of like a Wile E. Coyote or some shit like that. I like not Wile E. Coyote, but like a Woody Woodpecker, saying, "Triple H, you changed, man, and we used to be fun, and Stephanie used to laugh at all our shenanigans, and, what's wrong with y'all now and stuff." So yeah, it was a funny little segment right there. And Shawn Michaels was saying, if y'all not gonna have fun, then I'm going to. So yeah, that was pretty cool right there for a little backstage segment. Next we had Santino Marella versus Heath Slater. Santino came out in a full Jerry the King, not Jerry the King, but Elvis Presley outfit, and had the Great Khali with Elvis hair and Hornswoggle with Elvis hair, and they always doing the little Elvis dances walking to the ring. So that was pretty funny, especially seeing Khali in the hair and trying to do the little legs dance with his with Khali's big fucked up legs. So yeah, that was pretty funny. The match itself against Heath Slater, it was a pretty poor match. A couple of funny spots, but for not a lengthy match, but a Divas time match. It got probably like 5 minutes. It wasn't really nothing that happened in that match. Not even funny as well. Had about 2 funny things, but that happened basically with Santino doing the Elvis Presley moves into his move set, and then having the Cobra with Elvis Presley hair. So that was pretty funny right there. But the match itself was just a really, really bad filler. And then they ended it with Santino kind of cheering on Jerry King Lawler and thanking him and shit like that, because they're in Memphis, Jerry King's hometown, and I think that's something to do with the King or something like that as well. So I don't know. Let's see. Next we had Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. Another pretty good match. It was actually a lot of good spots in this match. It was very well paced. Ziggler again, man, that dude is a fucking animal, man. That dude can do no wrong to me right now, especially. And it was a really nice match. Orton did his thing too in here, and it ends up with Orton hitting the RKO on Ziggler after Ziggler goes for a drop kick and then tries to run again against Orton, and ends up getting RKO'd. So yeah, it was a pretty good match here. Something else I wanted to say about this match? I don't know what it was, but yeah, the match was really nice. A lot of good spots here, very well paced. That's what I wanted to say. It was very well paced, and sometimes that's hard to get in these WWE matches because they're doing it for the crowd and they're doing it more for entertainment than wrestling. But as far as everything goes, it never felt too slow for me. So let's see. After that, we got a Cena promo about him coming back, and we got those throughout the night. So I'm not gonna really talk about that anymore. But yeah, a few Cena promos, one about his whole hit career and stuff like that, and they're okay. Talking about John Cena because they don't want to show him until the Sunday, so they had to do something to hype his match with Alberto Del Rio. They even gave us Alberto Del Rio promos, him doing his special. What's that special? The arm bar or something like that, whatever they call it. But the cross arm bar, yeah, they showed a promo Alberto Del Rio doing that. So all the gang of people and shit. So basically just hyping up those two in the match. After that, we got a Divas tag team match. AJ Lee and Tamina versus what's her name? The Brie Bella twins. And this is an interesting match here. Let me tell you why. It's an interesting match because the Bellas actually wrestled in this match. I've been saying this for about a couple weeks since I've seen, especially Brie getting them ring and wrestle more. They gave these girls some pretty good time here. I would say at least about 10 minutes here. And they didn't take a commercial break on them, but they got some good time here. And Tamina in the ring against Nikki and Brie, and then AJ doing her thing. Tamina and AJ are, they know how to wrestle. They both, either one comes from a wrestling family, so she got all that in her, and the other one worked the indie market, so she knows how to, do the move sets. She knows how to do the basics plus the advanced stuff, and she knows how to sell. But Brie and Nikki, I think right now are in the mode where they actually want to wrestle more. So it looks like, I think the whole thing that AJ said actually kind of got under their skin in real life. I think that the company said, hey, you got to get out there and you got to wrestle better. So especially those Bella twins, they look like they're starting to pick it up, the idea that in order for us to keep going, they need to wrestle more. I think them being let go for that little bit of time they did get let go kind of made them feel that they need to get out there and do more. So yeah, it was a pretty good. It was actually a really good Divas match as far as tag team match. You know, the Bellas did their thing, and Tamina and AJ did their thing, and the Bellas came out with the win here after AJ tried to roll up Brie Bella off of a distraction by Tamina, and AJ tried to roll up Brie Bella, and then Brie Bella reverses it into a into what do they call it, a face buster or something like that, whatever they call that move. She hasn't named hers. I know what it's called because Xbox does it, but she hasn't named her move yet. So yeah, we got that. Let's see. After that, we had a backstage segment with Paul Heyman and Renee Young, and Paul Heyman went ham on this. He came out, he was doing a promo like it was some, you know, what's his name, Macho Man type shit. You know, he was, and what is CM Punk gonna do? He gonna come here? I was like, he was really going, like he was just high as fuck, just decided to go ham, and he was basically talking about, you know, the whole idea of the promo was him looking to be out of control, and like, you know, the whole thing is driving him crazy, but it ended up being to show that, you know, even though it may seem that it may drive him crazy, he's in control. So, you know, it was a really good promo right there by Paul Heyman, and, you know, really kind of made me even more hyped for their match. And what even got more hype into this was Big E Langston coming out and saying, you know, am I still a rookie? You know, just basically like, am I a rookie, motherfucker? Am I a rookie? You know, and talking shit to Curtis Axel and Ryback. So then they end up setting up a match between Curtis Axel and Ryback for later on. So yeah, it was a really good segment right there, and Big E at the end of that really made it better. The next was the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus The Miz and Kofi Kingston. Bray Wyatt was walking, so that's a good sign. He actually walked down to the side of the ring, got in his chair and everything, and even walked in the ring at the end of the match. So that was a good sign. But a really nice match here. The Miz spent most of the time in the match, but he was getting beat up by the Wyatts. And, you know, they did some pretty nice moves here. And then once Kofi got in the ring, it just went crazy. Kofi doing his little move set and really getting, you know, some nice moves off on these big guys. And it ends up with the Wyatt fam with I think it was Luke Harper. One of those two, the guy with the hair. He does his spinning clothesline on Kofi and just buries that dude. And what I was gonna say? Oh, he does a spinning line on Kofi, and then he ends up picking up the win. The Miz they start beating up Kofi, and the Miz comes in and tries to help him out, and the Miz ends up getting beat up, and then Bray Wyatt cut another promo, and, you know, his usually good promos, nothing else I can say about it. You know, it's the same thing about Miz and Fame and stuff, and then the screen fades to black. That's the only problem I have with their promos, is that the fade to black thing doesn't leave us to know what happens, you know, once the promo was cut. So, you know, it just fades to black and all the guys are still in the ring, so we don't really know what happens. So yeah, that's the only thing I wish they would change about that situation, but everything else is cool. This is a nice build up for the Miz and Bray Wyatt. So I'm really wondering, what are they going to do at the pay-per-view? Because it still doesn't seem that Bray Wyatt's going to wrestle at the pay-per-view. So it has me wondering. Hopefully they do something on SmackDown to, you know, solidify us and give us an idea of what may happen at the pay-per-view. Okay, so next we had, let's see, give me a second here. Okay, so next we had Curtis Axel versus Big E Langston. Big E goes out to get in the ring, and before he can even get in the ring, he's attacked. He's almost attacked by Curtis Axel, but he ends up tackling Curtis Axel, and then gets attacked by Ryback, and they all flood out to the outside, and then CM Punk comes out to help, and then we get a match with CM Punk and Big E versus Ryback and Axel, and it was a pretty good match. Ryback actually moved a little bit quicker here. You know, he's usually kind of slow in the ring. I guess it's because he didn't have to, you know, spend so much energy in the ring and stuff. But yeah, a pretty good match. Ends up with Big E and CM Punk end up getting the win here. You know, some nice moves and stuff. CM Punk ends up chasing Paul Heyman out of the arena, and then starts cheering CM Punk with the fans, and, you know, basically in the crowd just cheering with the fans and stuff. So it was a pretty good match in segment right there. Let's see what happened after that. Oh, okay. So R-Truth was backstage, and he was basically doing like a home shopping network sale of the WWE products, of like the shirts and toys and stuff like that. He was really funny right here. Talking about if you use the code word truth, then you get 20% off. So yeah, that was a pretty good segment with him right there, and he was very funny. Let's go back. Next was the match between Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro, the Real Americans, versus Brodus Clay and Tenzai, Tons of Funk. And this is, I think, another one of the low spots of the night. Even though you had something funny with Zeb Culture on a mic and on the commentary, but that was pretty cool. But in ring, it wasn't really interesting. It wasn't really capping me and getting me in it. And even the big swing that Cesaro tried to do, I don't know if Brodus Clay was sandbagging on Cesaro, but Cesaro, that's the second time he's tried to do the big swing on one of the big guys, and it looks like he's not able to do it. So I don't know what's happening there, but yeah, it was a pretty mediocre match. So I guess we move to the next thing. Hopefully they do something with the Real Americans and the El Matadores or something like that soon. So yeah, the Real Americans win that. So yeah, next we had I would guess you say the main event match at least, was the number one contenders match for the tag team titles, which was the Usos versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns of the Shield. And here, another really nice match. Like I said, this night was filled with a lot of cool stuff, just a few hindrances that kept it from being great. But another really good match here. The before I say that, Cody Rhodes and Goldust were on commentary, and they even Rhodes Dynasty even came out to a new theme, which is more of basically a Goldust theme with Cody Rhodes, some of the words from Cody Rhodes' song where they's talking about the mirrors and stuff like that mixed into the Goldust theme. So they kind of did a little mix of the song. But yeah, it was a pretty nice match here. A lot of good spots by the Usos, a lot of good spots by the Shield. Good stuff on commentary by Cody Rhodes. Dude, he was on fire on commentary. One of my favorite lines of the night was he was talking to JBL, and he was like, "You know what, JBL? If you take what did he say? Oh fuck. If you take everything that you have, or some shit like that about building a liar from ground up." Like, JBL's the way to build a liar from ground up, like JBL says with Randy Orton. So I can't remember how he said it, but it was pretty funny. So watch the shit, watch that match at least, and you'll get it. Don't trust me on it because I fucked it up. It's hard for me to remember shit like that. It's a 3-hour show. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was a really good match here. It ends up by DQ. I think it was a double DQ because Dean Ambrose was talking shit to Cody and them, and then everybody just ends up getting into a fight. And it all ends up being that what happens, I think the Usos and the Rhodes Dynasty ends up pushing the Shield out into the crowd. Not pushing them out to the crowd, but like pushing them out the ring, and the Shield run away into the crowd. So what it ends up happening was, which I really wanted, now we have a match for Hell in a Cell, which is a triple threat tag team match. So that should be pretty fun to watch. So yeah, that was a pretty nice little match right there. And also they set up for the kickoff show what the match was. Big E Langston versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental title. So that should be pretty fun to watch as well. So after that, we had our full main event, was the contract signing between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. And it was a pretty cool little segment right here. Them basically just talking the same stuff that they've been talking about for weeks, so I don't really need to talk about it. They said some good stuff here, but this video's running long, and so yeah, they basically talked about their stuff. Triple H talked about how he wouldn't fight Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan's not on the level of a superstar that he usually fights, which he fought Curtis Axel, so I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But Shawn Michaels then talks about how Daniel Bryan is good and stuff, and then Big Show ends up driving a big rig into the arena, and it all ends with Daniel Bryan doing his running knee onto Randy Orton. and because Big Show was telling, they was all looking at Big Show, and Big Show was like, turn around, and they all end up kicking. Daniel Bryan ends up kicking Randy Orton once Randy Orton turns around. So it was a cool segment right there, and I thought the end was kind of messed up a little bit because it just had Big Show screaming turn around, but you couldn't really hear anything. I think he should have started talking, and then Daniel Bryan should have yelled or something like that, and that way he could have ran into Big Show or something like that. It should have been more of a surprise that Daniel Bryan got his running knee done. So yeah, a pretty good show tonight. I would give it an A-. It deserves an A, but I have to take a few points off for the 2 filler matches and a couple of messed up points here and there. But it was a lot of things that was done good for the story, and this was the go home show for Hell in a Cell. So there's a lot of nice little things done here. So yeah, that's the rating I give it. And yeah, like I said, give it an A-, and you can hit me up on the internet, leave comments, like the video, dislike it if you want to, talk to me. I'll put my Twitter in the bottom. You can find me anywhere on the internet at BigChris145, or you can find me at Compton Animator. So yeah, hit me up. Y'all have a good night and watch wrestling. Peace.